Okay, so I'm coming back about a week later after I did this conversation. This conversation is with my brother. We were both in this closed high control group known as Homestead Heritage near Waco, Texas, when we were children. We were both born into this group, and we had a variety of experiences within this group that shaped us into our adulthood. And in this conversation, we begin unpacking what that experience really was like for both of us. And comparing notes, some of the things that he said, I was like, well, I did not know that. And some of the things I remember, he doesn't remember. So I'm really pleased to be able to just make this for the record and get it off both of our chests. And probably going to be having more of the same conversation. We take the conversation in some sociological, psychological arcs and end up talking about North Korea because it's an interesting example of this kind of mind control that we're talking about. We start out talking about sexuality and the shame that surrounds sexuality within these closed high control groups most of the time. It's a tactic that is a very effective tactic of mind control that is used to shame people for feeling natural sexual urges. So that's where the conversation starts out, and then we go from there. So enjoy.
Like, that's usually a part of
Yeah.
that control, that psychological control. It's pretty
I
fucked
think
up.
sex urge is like the most powerful desire that we have because it's this biological function of our entire existence, like as a species. Or any species. It's like how you keep going. It's like this thing that's hardwired into us since we were infants or whatever. Like reproduce. That's why you're here. Make another copy of yourself so we keep going.
Well, it has been that way, yeah.
Well, yeah, it has been that way. We've evolved to the point where not everybody needs to do that, but that's still a really, and that's because that's a recent thing. We've only evolved to be able to not like have to do that as a society in the last few hundred years. So, like, that's this core part of who we are. It's not something like maybe we could evolve out of that over several 100,000 years or something to get to the point where that's not like this really, really important thing for every human being. That's like this biological function that's so basic. And so that's why it's like so powerful, and when it gets suppressed, it causes the most damage, I think. And that's why sexual abuse causes so much damage.
Yeah, it totally changes people for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, it's a shame because it's. But like, how do you get rid of shame? Like, I think in my life, I've had a lot of shame from when I was really young, and I managed to not be ashamed of myself just for being anymore. There's still things I'm processing, but I don't know, like, if I had to say, like, sit down and say, well, how do you do that? Like, how do you become not ashamed? Like, how do you heal shame? I don't know if I could really give, like, a succinct reply to all of it. I could list all the tools that I've done, I can say, like, exactly what I did, but I think it would be different for everybody.
Yeah, and also, like, what kind of, or what you're feeling shame for, because feeling ashamed is okay, like, if you fuck up or something.
Right, and
like, that's totally normal.
Natural shame.
But no, yeah, I know what you're saying. Stuff you shouldn't feel ashamed for. For any good reason. But you do, because the Bible is basically full of stuff where they're like, no, you can't do this, you can't do that. What's the the one about gay people where they're like, you gotta, if a man sleeps with another man, he's gotta be stoned to death or something.
Yeah, or if a woman sleeps with someone who's not her husband, she has to be stoned.
Yeah. I mean, there's
a lot of instances in the Bible where people need to be stoned.
Yeah.
Especially the Old Testament.
The Old Testament is crazy, and then you have stuff about like all this, the killing and the slavery and stuff like that, and the
the incest. I mean, the Bible is just a stomping ground of terrible, terrible things. I remember reading that as I think I learned to read when I was around 5 or 6. But anyway, I remember reading the Bible as like a 6, 7, 8, 9-year-old child, and reading about like Lot sleeping with his daughters and God like murdering villages, people, and just terrible, terrible things. And I think it really traumatized me.
But women must not put on men's clothing. Men must not wear women's clothing. Anyone who does this is detestable in the sight of the Lord your God.
Detestable? Yeah. It's pretty strong.
Yeah, you fucking detestable bitch. What the hell? It's fucking insanity. This is in Deuteronomy. What I was thinking about.
Yeah, I remember Deprogramming being like one of the really hardcore ones.
Suppose a man marries a woman, but after sleeping with her, he turns against her and publicly accuses her of shameful conduct, saying, "When I married this woman, I discovered she was not a virgin." And then the woman's father and mother must bring the proof of her virginity to the elders in court at the town gate.
Like, that's first of all, that's like scientifically not a thing, right?
The proof? Like, what is the proof? They're fucking living in the hills, mountains and shit. Yeah, like, what proof? It just goes on and on. It's so crazy. About shameful conduct. About basically whether or not. Anyway, I was trying to get to the other part we were talking about. And then there's like, it's okay if the father pays 50 pieces of silver for this and that and the other. Like, as long as there's an exchange of money, then things go over a lot better. There's a stoning one now. Yeah, it's ridiculous, dude. I remember reading it several times through my teenage years. When I was, at least a couple of times I read the Bible, like, all the way through.
Yeah.
From, like, the very beginning to the very end.
I liked the New Testament. A lot of that felt at least more hopeful, and or the tone of it was a lot less gory. So
Leviticus. That's
Leviticus that's another one. Deuteronomy and Leviticus, I'm pretty sure, are like
Ephesians.
Yeah, Ephesians. It's basically like the rules of like how to be or not.
Yeah, there's a lot of rules. A lot of rules about owning other people, and basically, or no, because they weren't really people, like lesser than,
right,
like women and stuff, and other races.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of places in the Bible talk about animals and women. Yeah, like they're the same type of class of species, whatever. Like the women and animals and children. It's like those are certain kind of class, and then the men are in the other one. So yeah, I mean, reading all that as a kid, that especially when there's no other influences and you're being told that that's the way that that this is the only truth in the world, it's traumatizing in an extreme degree because you believe it.
Yeah.
It's the truth. Do you remember we got the house on 25th Street?
Not much.
We would have to stay inside until 3 p.m. because they didn't want the neighbors to think that we weren't in school.
No, I don't remember that.
But yeah, I mean, obviously we weren't in school. But the thing is, when we would stay inside, we weren't doing school in there either. So it's like, well, what is the point of this? But anyway, during like the mornings, we would do like Bible reading. Literally not have us all sit down in the living room and we would just do Bible reading for an hour. Wait, no,
yeah. I don't remember that. I don't remember, like, I need to go to therapy and stuff sometime, but I honestly don't have any memories, like, before, like, when like, before we started going to, regular school. I don't really, I have vague little, like, pictures, basically, of, like, the front porch, 25th Street. I remember what that looked like. I remember what the backyard looked like with the shed, where Mom did pottery, and David hit his head on it with the hammer on the bucket.
Oh shit, I totally forgot about that.
That's like, that's pretty much all I remember. I remember some weird stuff with that I don't want to say. Anyway, beyond that, I don't really have any, like, there's no memories of things happening. I don't have any memories of stuff happening. I just totally have blocked it all out for whatever reasons. Yeah.
Yeah, there's, I have a few memories from when I was, like, actually a tiny little baby. Like, I remember laying on the floor and, so, like, before the church moved there, they built, like, this giant cathedral type thing on the land.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, so before that, they had this, like,
it was a big deal. And then we never got to go to it.
Right, because we weren't just fellowship, but we were, I forget what the exact term was for it. We were basically, like, on probation.
Yeah, whatever it was, we couldn't go to the Sunday meetings. Yeah. I don't remember ever going to one.
Yeah.
There's always those weird Friday night scream fests where people were, like, speaking in tongues and screaming at each other and, like, literally salivating on each other and, like, it's so weird and controlling, like, the mass hysteria that was happening. I remember those meetings. I must have been pretty young at that part. Because I don't remember them, but I remember crowds of people jump in unison, like, basically chanting and jumping up and down and, like, whoa!
I have a lot of memories of those too.
Shit is terrifying.
It's terrifying. And Mike, I don't remember if they ever did this to you. Let me know if you remember this, but there was several occasions where the elders would come up to me and put their hands like on my shoulder or on the top of my head, and they would start doing the speaking in tongues thing.
Yeah.
Until I did it too.
That's weird.
That was considered praying me through.
I don't remember that.
And I didn't know what was happening.
Sure, they all fucking herds trying to grab all the young kids there.
Probably, but like specifically making someone like speak in tongues, because they would keep praying for me, keep their hands on me until I would pray to their satisfaction.
Yeah.
So I would just do it because I would be like, okay, well, if I just go ahead and like pretend like I'm doing the thing, then they'll leave me alone and move on to the next one. So yeah.
That's so creepy.
Yeah, so I would just like I had seen them do it, so I was like, oh, whatever. They were good.
Yeah, that makes me think about like this quote I heard the other day. It's hard. You can wake up somebody that's sleeping, but it's almost impossible to wake somebody up that's pretending to be asleep. So like,
right.
How many of those people were actually? I mean, and it's a real phenomenon that happens when you have like mass hallucinations and mass hysteria and stuff like that, where people intuitively like intuit things about each other, and they actually experience the same hallucinations and auditory hallucinations and all kinds of things, and physical hallucinations as well.
Right.
And like, how many of those people were just going through the motions to be in that position of power to abuse other kids and stuff? And how many people are actually like really believe? Because there had to have been some, maybe, I don't know, but the odds about people are some of them are good and some of them are bad.
Yeah.
So it's like some are actually pretending like you were, basically, just to. That's just crazy though.
Yeah, that was terrifying, first of all.
Yeah, you're like, alright, okay, I'm talking in tongues. Yeah, that's crazy. I don't remember any of that though.
How that came up, but yeah.
No, we're just talking about the
stuff we remember
memories.
about the meetings. But yeah, I mean, obviously, we would have memories of that, because that was every single week. Every Friday, every week, for as long as I can remember, until I was 13 when I got out.
We were 13 when you got out? So I was 11?
10. No. Yeah, 11.
10 or 11. See, I don't remember anything around that age.
Well, we were living at that house in Golson in the country. Something like that.
Could have been. Yeah, what a joke.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I know how memory works, basically, so I know that a lot of the stuff that I can't remember or I'm not remembering is just because I haven't thought about it or talked about it in so long. So, like, if you or mom or somebody, like, that's older, because your memory goes, like, a little bit further, more precise. Anyway, if we, like, jog each other's memories, I'm sure I could remember some other stuff, but it's pretty much, yeah, like, I don't.
There's a big chunk that I don't remember as well.
Oh, shit. Oh, and this is kind of a side topic, but she was saying she was one of the people that actually turned them in to the authorities because of she saw
Yeah, I already heard all this slander.
their kids have bruises on them from their spankings. So that was like one of the first alerts she told me. And then I was like, but didn't we go over there for babysitting? And she was like, hell no. She said she never left us over there.
That's just, well, in for my memory, that's not true.
Because I was also like, what the hell? These people were like known abusers, and she was like, yeah, I was one of the ones that turned them in. But I don't know. It was kind of, we didn't talk very long about it.
Okay.
But maybe it's a different, you're remembering another family or something, so.
No, because I have a very specific memory that's from when I was a kid. And I know how memory works. I know that memory is selective.
Very elastic.
And you can kind of, it's very, elastic. You kind of fill in the blanks. You know, I'm aware of that.
Well, you can also make up new memories. To be careful.
You can totally just create memories. But I have this one that I've had forever, and it's the thing is it's like such a small, weird, insignificant thing, which is what makes me think that that's actually something that's a real memory. Because sometimes with, I think, memories that you make up, it's kind of more emotional, and there might be like sequences and things that you put together. But this memory that I have, I was on the floor, and I'm looking at that's just such a weirdly specific thing to remember. That's what makes me think that's actually a memory.
Well,
but I don't know.
I forgot because I asked her. Yeah, no, that's well, because I asked her specifically like why we knew them, or like how we knew them.
Yeah.
Because
she probably has forgotten stuff that, as well,
But yeah, and I don't know. Who knows? But I just wanted to bring that up because that was. Yeah.
No, it's really a strange thing.
Alarming.
Very alarming.
But yeah, fuck those fucking pieces of shit.
Yeah. Well, at least they're in jail now.
Yeah.
For like, I think 10 or 20 years, I forget.
Not long enough.
Yeah. I'll put a link in the description if I keep this part in to the Texas Monthly article where it talks about them.
Yeah. It's so disgraceful.
Yeah. But I have a little bit of fun with it because I left them a Google review, Homestead Heritage. They have like a Google listing now.
Oh, really?
So I left a Google review, and every time somebody likes my review, it pops up on my phone screen.
Nice.
And it's like, your reviews are helping people, or something like that. And I'm like, yes. And it just makes me laugh.
Yeah, no, fuck. I don't understand how that sort of place still exists. I mean, no, I shouldn't say that.
The thing is it's not everybody has the same experience, and it largely depends on how much money your family has, as far as like what experience you have.
Yeah. And then also the fact that like half of people are men, basically, so the male experience in those situations is highly desirable if you're a certain type of person, because it gives you a lot of power in your family dynamic.
Right.
And that's also like how a lot of serial killers stay hidden, is they are, I used to call chameleons, but it's an insult to chameleons. They pretend to be real people.
Yeah, I'm gonna blow this.
They get, they have families, they get married, they have kids.
Right, like in the show Dexter. Like
like that's a good example, yeah, but like it's real.
Isn't in the show he knows like that he should get a family because it will help his image or whatever, and that's like why he does it.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
But he also sort of starts to actually have feelings and stuff that as complicated because he's a special case where it's like, or supposed in the world, like the universe.
Right.
But no, that's a real thing. Like that's how in a lot of true crime stories I've read about these serial killers that have been caught. They get caught later on in life because they begin to, after so much killing, they begin to get sloppy and apathetic to where they almost are trying to be caught because they're just tired of it. And almost always they have families, kids who talk about how much they were there. They're like, yeah, Dad was a great person. They was always present. All these things that you do as a normal good person. But they also, so that's one part of it. And then they'll get a job where they are always around people, like on campuses, security guards or police officers, or often
where people are coming and going.
Often pastors or preachers or whatever, priests or whatever you want to call them, security enforcement, law enforcement, politics, like all of these sorts of positions of power where it puts you in contact with your prey, basically.
Right. That's what you see with a lot of pedophiles, is that they are school bus drivers or teachers or...
Yeah, that's how you get away, is you ingratiate yourself with the community that you want to prey upon. So you become a normal person, and this to watch out for these people because they're right beside us, unfortunately.
Right. There's a new article that came out about Homestead Heritage where they said that Blair Adams passed away, I think, in 2020.
I don't really remember who that was.
That was like the main guy that started the whole Homestead Heritage thing.
Fuck that guy. Dude,
yeah, he's like
he can rot.
The main guy in charge of like the whole thing.
You know, there's the group that our parents were in before Heritage. It was called The Way or something like that.
Really?
I was talking to Mom about it.
I know nothing about this.
Yeah, it was like a pretty extreme group or whatever. I never looked it up actually, but she told me.
Was that before they had kids? Huh. So how long were they in it, did she say?
No, they just went to some Bible study groups, and they quickly stopped being a part of it, or they stopped attending, and they went to another church because they were like, these guys are... I forgot the word she used, but they were kind of like too much
A little too
or
culty.
something. So then they went to, or whatever it was. I can't even remember. I gotta ask her again.
Yeah.
Because she has a weird way of, like, her attention span. Mom's attention span is really, really low for a lot of different reasons. But now, when you try to talk to her about stuff or get her to do anything for longer than a minute, is really hard and challenging. Like, she just can't sit still. It's really, it's just like, wow, now I see that. Like, I understand why I feel the way I do. It's like I got her genes, I think. A lot of the ADHD and stuff that I deal with, anxiety.
Yeah, I think she's always kind of been that way, and I think that was what might have made it difficult for her to, homeschool.
You would think that. No.
8 of us at the same time.
Dude, she was totally, like...
I mean, I'm not laughing at her. I'm laughing at the ridiculousness of the situation, of somebody with barely a high school education homeschooling 8 children. in grades K through 12 with little to no resources and completely cut off from society is just like. And then going back to the thing about our family being like on probation within the group, like first of all, the psychological torture of being cut off completely from the outside world and imagining that everybody out there is bad, but then you're not even a part of the group. You're also bad within your group. So you're cut off from everybody outside. And then you're not even a part of the group.
I never really even like understood why we were not allowed to go.
I don't really know either. I asked Dad, and he said it was because he asked too many questions.
Yeah, but that just sounds like bull crap.
I better get at least 600K.
Right, so what was it? We'll probably never know. I mean, I asked him about it on multiple occasions, and he said it's the same thing.
I don't know, I have some... and
Hey Donnie, where's the spawner? I'm too tired.
There's not really any evidence, but there's not... Like, there's not the evidence against, like, you know what I mean? Like, certain... When you're a present... In order to be present requires, like, I don't know. I'm going to try to think about that a little bit before I say it. Yeah, he is a weird guy, our dad.
Yeah, and who knows what trauma that he had experienced. I mean, I don't know who he is really, even as a person, because when I was a kid, it was he went to work, and then he came home, and I never, like, he never.
No, that's what I was getting at, sort of.
As a person.
We were very much raised by mom.
Yeah.
Pretty much all of us.
Like, I know who mom is. I know all of her character flaws. I know what she likes and doesn't like, and like how she acts and her behavior. I have a baseline for her behavior, right? With Richard.
Yeah,
I don't know the guy.
He's a shadow. He's not a real person. That's what is concerning to me, because people that don't have stuff to hide are not, they're more present, and they're present through not even just by being there all the time, but like a transparency, like an honesty through transparency, and he lacks that.
Yeah, like being real.
He always is like, he just reminds me of somebody that just is like pretending all the time. It's weird. I don't know why I get that feeling.
Yeah, like I remember he would go to work and he would come home and then he would go to sleep immediately after he got home.
Yeah, apparently the whole thing, when I was talking to Mom about the way, she was telling me about how they went to these Bible studies, and they used, what are those things called to study the Bible? Forgetting the name. It's called
Catechism.
No, it's like a
Reader.
A seer stone. No, basically. No, it just like it lists every word in alphabetical order or whatever, and it helps you find. Basically, it's like I want to talk about the Bible, and I'm talking about a certain thing, and I need to find a reference.
Index, or like a list of references.
So I know the word, so I go to that word, and that will tell me where in the Bible that word is, and all these spots. and stuff like that, and they use these things to like study the Bible and talk about God and their interpretation of the scriptures and all this bullshit. And so the reason I was asking her about it was one of the things we talk about, not a lot, but I like to talk about, is her one spiritual experience that convinced her God is real. And she told me that this is the moment that tells her the supernatural and God and everything is real.
The trash can?
This is yes, where Richard levitated and the trash cans were blown over outside and whatever.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
Richard being possessed is actually not that far-fetched.
So what I want, so like that's an interesting thing to me, like when people have paranormal experiences and they literally believe, because to believe means you know something to be true. And when you know something is different than just thinking about it. Because it's like you know it in your heart, people say, stuff like that. But you can tell when people are being real, basically.
Right.
And they're like, I saw something. So I wanted to figure out like what she was actually talking about, and I asked her like what time frame that it happened in, and so for reference, Jasmine had been alive for about 6 or 7 months. Okay. Is what she told me. They did mushroom tea.
Right.
They did stuff like that, for one. They're just throwing that out there.
Right. I think they also were using marijuana.
They were also doing that. They had just moved to the back lot on a cemetery in that trailer. This is where this is all taking place, the time frame, everything.
I don't think I knew that they were in the cemetery.
He had just started working for her dad as the groundskeeper, basically burying bodies and doing stuff like that. They had just had Jasmine. These young people were in a vulnerable state, like they were not. I mean, I'm not saying that they're crazy, but they weren't like, you don't just fall in love and have a kid and move to your parents' graveyard. They're just like these. It's not a very normal. I guess nothing's really normal, really, but.
No, but I mean, first of all, there's a lot of stress with just having a kid, psychologically.
There's some trauma going on. Yeah, your first child, and you're also like, oh shit, what does life mean? Because they're 19 and 20 or whatever.
Yeah, they just had a kid. Neither of them has any education.
They're teenagers, basically.
Yeah.
And this other guy basically came out of nowhere, and like she dumped her boyfriend for Richard, basically, and then he had to move out, and they had to get a place together and start a family. So they're like, this is what we're doing now, and we have to figure out what's going on. So they start investigating about God and whatever, and they find this. I'm not sure, she didn't tell me how they met these people, but they started going to these Bible studies, and then for only like a month or so. And then they went to this other Pentecostal church or something like that. And then that's where they met people from Heritage, in that actual church or something like that. Like the beginnings of it.
Oh, okay.
I think.
Huh.
But so anyway, what happened to her, where she told me, she described waking up in the middle of the night. She couldn't talk or move or something, and then Richard was like levitating in the air, and he couldn't, I forgot what he was doing. I don't know. The details are kind of vague because I always like get my brain like glosses over when I start hearing this.
She's told me that story on a couple of occasions. Yeah,
So
he levitates and then a trash can outside gets blown over or something.
right, and every time I try to press her about specific details, like what was he saying, or what were you trying to say, what were you thinking, she's like, I can't remember, which is totally fine. But it's just like, anyway, so I'm just trying to investigate her memory. So
Yeah,
that's what I know now is the time, the place, and all of these things. And to me, like, that's just a perfect example of a mass hysteria. Like, you're in a kind of a traumatic situation. You don't really know what the fuck's going on. You're trying to figure it out. You just started a family.
You're living in a creepy place.
You just started your new life, and literally on top of hundreds probably of dead people.
Right.
And your boyfriend is like the one that buries them, like, and does the cremating, all of, like, he did all that stuff.
Yeah.
Which is a weird job.
So weird.
It is a weird job to have to plug and
cut people open and fill their bodies with formaldehyde.
you got to take stuff out. You got to put plugs in. You got to do all these weird things, and
like,
it's not a normal job.
What is it called?
A mortician.
Mortician. Every now and then on Instagram, I come across a couple of pages where it's like mortician answers questions or whatever.
You're supposed to be
Those
a
people
doctor.
have like a weird look in their eye. I don't know what it is. Not all of them, but it does something to you. Like when you just spend all your time with, or most of your time with corpses, it kind of does something to you. Maybe that's why Richard is so weird.
Well, and again, like,
Maybe
people.
you didn't do it that long.
No. Yeah, it's true. I mean, well, what I just thought of is, like, I thought you had to, like, have some kind of license or, like, some kind of achievement in order to do that, because isn't it kind of like surgery?
You need education.
Anyway, they were just winging
a
it.
license to do that?
I guess he got one. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Like,
Oh.
it was a weird thing. Like, these.
Right.
Nothing's really normal, but that's, like, on a normal scale, it's not that normal. Like, a series of events.
And the whole, like, levitating thing, if that was a mass hysteria because they were both doing mushrooms, that seems like...
You don't even have to be on drugs to experience these things.
That's
when
true. Drugs do kind of facilitate it.
They help.
Psychedelics.
Yeah, but the thing about our brains is that we make all of these things already naturally, right. And the ability to, for example, and then also for me, the time it took place. It wasn't in the middle of the day. It was in the middle of the night. So how are we not sure that some of these memories are not from a dream state?
That's what I was thinking.
Or,
when you were saying all of it, I was like, wait, what if...
Because that is when some powerful chemicals are in action and you're able to access them. Because when every time we go to sleep at night, you are delusional, you hallucinate, you fucking lose your mind for a little bit.
Add into that sleep deprivation. 6-month-old baby.
Right. So there's lots of different things going on. And this is the basis of her believing in God. And it's just like, how could that be so weak?
I don't understand.
Like, to me, it's the weakest proof ever.
I don't understand how that makes one believe in God, though. Like, how do
because the supernatural exists. Demons and devils. He was possessed by demons. What I said one time, I lost it.
Would that make her believe in the devil?
Yeah, no. So what I said one time when we were talking about it, because it usually gets to a point where I start questioning like a little bit harder, and I'm like, what about this? What about this? We agree on this, so what about this thing we should also agree on? And but there's like this thing where religious people come to a wall because when you believe something to be true and somebody tells you it's not, it feels like you're being attacked physically. Like
Yeah,
it's a
she's
hard.
very adamant about that experience.
Well, anybody is like when you think something is true and somebody tells you you're wrong, it feels like you're physically being attacked. Like it's not a good feeling. Like you feel hurt, and so it's hard to talk about that. But one time I was like, so after that happened, you still married him? Like, how are you sure the demon left him? That dynamic, like, that is taken for granted.
But I know that's a real dynamic. And I've been in situations that I didn't want to be in, and I couldn't bring myself to leave, mostly because of money and other things. But at the end of the day, even if a woman or anyone is being coerced or is being provided money or other things to
manipulated.
Stay in a situation, manipulated in many ways, at the end of the day, she still has free will. She can still make a decision and leave. And you can't say that it's not true. It might be difficult. She might be being manipulated, but she still has agency to make a decision.
Yeah, no, it just sucks because the whole institution is set up like we were talking about earlier with marriages and stuff. Like that came from complete control. Like literally, you if you married somebody, I mean, if you go back a little bit further too, they were literally traded for livestock.
Yeah.
Women were, like, they were not considered anything but breeding objects.
Right.
And
women
that's
and children,
out of religion.
And slaves were the same.
That's out of the Bible.
Category of, yeah.
So these men, the people in that church that were in control of mom's life, as far as I see it, they are the ones that are saying, like, and I don't know, it's obviously a lot more complicated than that, but I understand what you're saying. I do agree at some point we do have agency and free will, but it's very limited because of the way things are set up, and the way that misogyny and control has been institutionalized in government and all sorts of positions of power.
Well, yeah, like we were talking about before we started recording, that women have just recently been able to own property and get, financing and vote for the last
100 years.
How many years is that? About 100, a little bit less.
Yeah. Yeah, and our grandmother is almost 90, so basically, yeah, it's not even that long ago. It's pretty fucking crazy.
Yeah, and then look how far we've come, but it's still obviously ingrained in a lot of just societal expectations and other things. I mean, we've come a long way, but ultimately, at the end of the day, even if someone's in a bad situation, it's not taking away any of the culpability from the abusers and perpetrators, but we have to give the victims some sense of agency, or they just become so powerless that it's just not. I mean,
no, that's true. I totally agree. But to sort of like to buckle down on what I was saying, at a certain point, I don't know, it depends on what you think about free will. So I think that everything is pretty much determined, and there is no really such thing as free will. So if that is true, then literally the only agency you have is still determined. It's still predetermined. It's still not really your decision, but because we are so complicated, we're able to reverse decisions and change our minds and stuff like that, which is really important. So we have to be able to change our minds and in order to change and have agency. Because when you have these things that are institutionalized and so ingrained through our society, it's not even like complicit's not the right word, because you're talking about other people's lives, your children probably in this example. So you're not going to jeopardize your kid's life. Like let's say there's a couple, they have kids, the father is physically abusive but not really bad, he just punches her every now and then. Like, this is very common, it's all the time. And they stay with him because they're like, he says he's sorry after, and it doesn't hurt that bad, and whatever.
And he brings home a paycheck.
And he provides for my kids, and he is really nice sometimes, and all this stuff. Like, that is all because of how ingrained in our society these types of roles are. And that's only because of our ancient past. Like, it literally has it should not have any real bearing anymore, because it's not the survival of the fittest anymore. It's not really a thing. It's not really a thing.
You can discuss fitness in terms of mental acuity and...
No, what I mean is the strongest person being able to rape the most amount. That's where we came from.
Right.
Like, that's not a thing anymore, because now smart people are like, which is a very tiny percentage of the human population that actually move the, whatever you want to call it, technological advances forward, or sociological, or both. Like, there's only certain small percentage of people that actually are pivotal, like, that are written about, and
right.
Like, it's not a lot of us. Most of us are just like, yeah, okay, I'm alive. Like,
yeah, most people are writing books that are kept in front for hundreds of years.
Yeah, we're not really changing in much.
Designing new technology that's going to be revolutionary. It's a very small percentage of people.
Yeah, so it takes a long time for those types of things to change in our society, like institutionalized religion. Like, it's a serious thing, in my opinion, and like what we were talking about is just in the U.S. and stuff. Like, as far as the world is concerned, it's very much the most amount of people are religious. I mean, they believe in this binary sort of relationship. It's just how it is.
Yeah, I mean, I would consider myself to be spiritual, but not religious. But then you're more atheist, so you have a different perspective.
I don't know.
Or you're agnostic or something like that.
I guess atheist would be the right term, but if you have to define it. But
right, yeah.
I don't really care about defining stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't really care about it either. It's just kind of interesting to see in the context of sort of like this podcast, mostly talking about healing, recovering after being in high control groups. So seeing the perspectives that we have now after being in that situation.
Yeah.
But I don't think I say I'm spiritual. What does that mean? It could mean that I'm into channeling. It could mean that I do tarot cards. It could mean
that I'm pagan. Like, it could mean a lot of different things. Spiritual is like this huge umbrella that basically means anything nowadays, right? So.
Well, yeah. I mean, what I mean by I don't like to define that is, in my opinion, I think there is religion, and that encompasses all of paranormal stuff, I think.
So,
what do you think paranormal experiences are? Like, do you think they're not, like, do you think it's all...
It depends on what we're talking about. I don't know.
Right.
We'd have to find a specific example, because each one's different. And it matters too, because I don't think that there's enough data to say that definitively that there are certain types of paranormal stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I personally haven't had anything paranormal that I could say, like, that's paranormal, and I know that there was no way that would, something that would happen naturally, like that. I don't have that experience. Like, I've seen some weird things in the sky, as far as, like, are they craft of some kind, was like hallucinating, I have no idea. But I wouldn't say those are supernatural or paranormal. I would say those are probably, like, just either military craft or some extraterrestrial thing.
Yeah. Just really quick about the religion versus atheists. I don't like atheists because it implies that there's like a group of non-believers, but it's not really what it is. It's like there's religion and then there's not religion. Right. So there's, like, for lack of a better word, there's normal and there's not normal. Like, there's people that are fucking nuts and believe in this omnipotent being in the sky, and there's people that are like, no, dude, we don't believe that anymore because we're smart now. Like that. It's like the burning the witch because the crops didn't get enough rain, because the old lady, the weird old lady that lives like at the edge of town or whatever. I heard somebody talk about it. They're like, that's what you did. Like, you find the recluse. Like, this guy's weird. He must be the reason.
Right, scapegoating. I experienced scapegoating even just, like, within our family group. Like.
Yeah.
Yeah, like.
That happens a lot with kids.
Right. I mean, it's like kind of a natural phenomena that happens.
Blaming other people.
It's like, oh, well, there must be a reason. As humans, we're looking for a reason.
Yeah, that's how we survive.
Chaos. And
yeah, that's how we survived. But now we don't, like, everything is pretty well understood. Like, we can do experiments that are so sensitive that you can, like, you have to like, some of these ultra high, whatever they're called, tests they do with particle accelerators and stuff, where you have to have these controlled environments, and the things they're trying to look at are so small that, like, any kind of anything anywhere will be registered as a interference or something, like a rat like a mile away, or, you know, like, there's all these different things, like somebody walking, or if it's raining,
right, or in the case of measuring, like, wave functions and photons, if somebody's thinking about the experiment, they can change it, right?
Well, it's
or looking at it.
That one's always a hard one to talk about because
you can't really measure it. Like, there's no empirical way to actually.
It's definitely
know if
weird.
Someone was thinking about it or not, right? Like.
Yeah, because how do you tell if nobody ever is thinking about something? or at least something like that.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a way you could figure it out, but in order to design that experiment, someone would have had to think about it. But it'd have to be like completely randomized with computer and then controlled in such a way that nobody knew what the randomization was.
Yeah, I heard somebody say the analogy, like when we're talking about tables, like table,
Yeah.
we know everything about the table. Like that's pretty much like solid objects in the space between. We pretty much like we know what that is. The only stuff we don't really know is like these weird kind of abstract things that are more conceptual at this point, and they're just because our mathematics don't really math, and that could just be a computing error or a calculation error or something. But I mean, we know a lot. We've even like we've made new elements and stuff like to recreate.
There's still so much we don't know even on our own planet, like everything that's in the ocean. Like we might have mapped the seafloor, but we haven't. Nobody's actually.
We know more. Yeah, we know more about the moon than the moon's surface than we do in the ocean surface.
Yeah, I mean, I have a different perspective than you about like the higher power thing, because I think that, I don't know what it is, but I think it's something. So it's like just a different perspective that we have on that.
Well, that's fine.
Yeah, no, it's interesting to talk about because we do have a different perspective. I don't know what it is. I'm thinking at this point, it's probably
what's more expensive, 400 tokens?
Some kind of like collective consciousness. It could be like a magnetic field or something. It could be tied to the planet itself magnetically, because what you have going on is the sun or a star, and that's like the magnetic field of the planet and the magnetic field of the sun are like locked in this like beautiful dance, right? It's like symmetrical and like it's always moving because it's a magnetic field and it's fluctuating. But you have this like super powerful like thing happening where the planet and the sun are connected and it's creating this field. And we don't really know what that is, like as far as how that interacts with individual human consciousness. But we know that we're all magnetic beings. We have a magnetic field and it's an electromagnetic field. So it's whenever our feet are on the planet, we're part of this field that's connected to the sun.
Yeah.
And that's like really kind of poetic and like artistic maybe way to like think or look at that, but what if that's what God is?
I don't know. There didn't have to be God for me. I don't
that's such
feel
an outdated, weird word, God, but it's something. It's definitely something. There's something that connects everybody, and it makes us have affection for each other.
Oh yeah, I mean like, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't really think consciousness is like the Merovingian. I don't really. Yeah. Everybody has a purpose they're coded for. It's hardwired into us. But it's complicated too, because there is some sort of agency and stuff, and I think that philosophers were too influential in the sciences early on, and basically religion. I mean, science came from religion, like it.
Well, yeah. Before there was kind of this schism that happened between the church and science.
Yeah.
Because before that schism happened,
there was one thing.
They were the same. Yeah, it was basically the science came out of the church. But, yeah, I mean, yeah.
So that's kind of fascinating. And
It is very
maybe what we'll
interesting.
see in the future is sort of a convergence or a reconvergence where science becomes more spiritual, for lack of a better word, and religion becomes less, I don't know,
Less spiritual.
illogical, and they kind of like.
I mean,
I see it
it's
happening now
logical.
in some ways, where you have, the medical field, instead of thinking that, it's solely like mental health, or instead of solely thinking that physical health is only just like a physical thing that's affected only by what you eat and whether you exercise and like these physical external factors, to realizing that mental health is a big part of your physical health. How you feel about yourself. And that's an emotional thing, which is not, I don't know if that really makes sense, but it does. It's sort of coming back in that direction, and I think that there was this kind of like split that happened that may have been detrimental to both sides, but probably was necessary in order to.
Oh my God! Wait.
I didn't see that.
Out.
I think it was good that it happened because what the good thing about the scientific method is that it's not something that is specific to any one individual. Like, it's the point of it is that you can do an experiment and you get a result, and if something is true, if something happens again and again, then that should be able to be repeated by somebody somewhere completely else on the planet or the solar universe or wherever, and it should still be the same, basically. So based on that is what makes science so great, because it wasn't left up to some guy saying, this is what I think, and this is what God told me. So that split was very important, because but yeah, I don't.
Yeah, and then I mean, what if you could take that sort of scientific method and apply it more to the realm of religion, for lack of a better word? I think we would have less crazy people making cults.
Yeah. The reasons that religions and stuff like that exist is because a long time ago they were important for our tribes and smaller communities to survive. So you have like these smaller groups of people that believe in one thing or the other, and that's how, like, together they all believe in the same thing, so they can help protect it, and it's like an identity, like a group identity, and it helped people survive in really hard times when there weren't a lot of humans. Mm-hmm. But now we don't need that. Right. Like, now it's not important for the strongest guy to be around to protect you from a wild animal. Like, it doesn't fucking matter anymore. So that should totally not eliminate all sort of religious systems to me, unless, like you're saying, there is actually something going on. But what if you just base that on consciousness? I don't know, because to me, when all of these things it's still within our body, and our brain is still a physical thing, and that's made out of stuff and like chemicals and neurons connecting in a certain way and produce certain emotions and thoughts and experiences.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me to think about it any other way now. But
No, yeah, it's interesting to hear your perspective for sure. But a lot of these manipulating situations that people get into with groups may not even be religious, you know. So it's not necessarily a religion thing, it's just a human nature manipulating religion to control people.
Yeah, and religion and worship specifically, because those things together, like, I'm embarrassed.
Why?
The religion means the belief in and worship of superhuman power or powers, especially a god or gods. And the worship part is
it's a really interesting word, isn't it?
Integral.
Worship.
Well, because you know what worship means. It means you do something in a repetitive. I'll look it up because I'm going to butcher it.
Of worship.
It's a repetitive behavior. The feeling or expression of reverence and adoration for a deity.
All I want of chapters and I can't fly. What? Hello?
I feel.
But you have to do that means that you're doing something. That's why prayer and sacrifice and what's the
frustrating.
All these different rituals. That's why worship is ritual. Like that's where it came from, and that's how you really nail that's how you really get into people's
psyche.
That's how you get in there, and it's so powerful because when we do things repetitively, that's how we survive. That's like the constant repetition is what makes us like smart, like, and that's
repetition is a really interesting concept because I mean that's how you brainwash somebody is you just keep repeating.
Yeah, mantras. There's all kinds of examples of these, like how repetition is like basically everything we are.
Well, a big part of that, it just goes back to like physicality in your brain of like because they study different brainwave types.
It is because of that. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
That's what it's good for. That's why prayer is so powerful, and people like literally live by it. Because and some prayers are way more effective than others. Have you noticed? Like in Islam, that's a very effective deal because of there's a lot of physical repetition.
Yeah,
and stuff like that.
Facing in a certain location. It's got to be a certain
all these different things.
You have to be on the rug.
Is it facing west or the east?
I
don't fucking know.
I think it's facing towards Mecca.
And then it is.
You are in the world,
it is.
Which is the black cube.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, it's a rock in a big black cube, but it's like just a stone.
To me, that's a bizarre cult.
No, have you seen them? There's not a lot of. Sorry for interrupting, but it made me think of the videos of them. There's like thousands of people that gather there, and they all move in unison around the thing, and they're all like chanting, and it's fucking wild. I mean, that's
no stranger than Friday nights at Homestead Heritage. Maybe a little stranger, but like...
No, it's definitely the same type of
mass
hysteria.
Yeah, mass hysteria. Nailed it.
I mean, that's what it is, like, technically, if you want to be real.
Yeah. And I wonder how many of those people are pretending, or if everybody's believing, like...
Self-induced hysteria through, like... prayer and ritual and yeah, it's really weird. And to think like people take advantage of that for just controlling others is. Yeah.
Like, I would never be.
I don't believe in like original sin, so to me
Me
that's.
either. That's insane. That's. Not. Yeah, the concept of original sin just goes back to what we were talking about at the beginning, is making someone feel ashamed because of who they are inherently. Yeah. And you have no way of, it's, you know, the concept of, well, you were born, so you're evil, and you need to be ashamed of yourself.
Yeah, it's just like Scientology or any other ones where they're like, you basically chose to be born where you're born, and that's your fault. And it's like, what? Right. How fucked up is that? Like, that's literally insane. Like in North Korea, do you know it's illegal to kill yourself there, and the penalty is death.
So if you try to kill yourself and don't succeed,
the state will kill
die?
You. Yeah.
No way.
It's because
I'm sorry.
You
that
don't.
Actually, shouldn't be that funny.
It's crazy. It's so crazy. It is funny because what it means is that you don't have any agency. You belong to the state.
Right, a slave. Basically.
You are not your own person.
Yeah.
You can't kill yourself, but we can. It's very religious-y.
It's like
very cultish. It literally is an occult. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy how like there's so much slavery that exists in the world today.
Yeah, modern day slavery is a real thing, for sure.
A lot of people have no clue.
Because they weren't loyal or whatever reason.
Well, I heard that there's North Korea had built like some new state-of-the-art resorts that are open for tourism now, global tourism, and that people are actually going to enjoy the amenities.
I would never go.
Can you imagine? Like,
It's
I would be afraid
up.
I would look at somebody wrong and get thrown in a labor camp.
Well, beyond that you wouldn't.
And besides,
if you're paying money, you'll be taken care of fine. But that's the point. Don't give those fuckers any money because it all goes
don't give them money.
To bad.
But just being there is basically like morally condoning what's happening and saying you're okay with it.
Yeah, if you want to give money to North Koreans, you have a better chance of going to South Korea and joining up with these groups of people that one of them, they used balloons to, like weather balloons and stuff, to send like balls of like anti-propaganda, the truth. I don't know, like and they send money. They actually send money too, because like US dollars and actual dollars and stuff like that can actually even be spent in North Korea. I learned a lot about that place. It's really. So it's crazy. I'm just glad I wasn't born there. Shit. I hate to say it, but that's the truth.
Well, you must have done something great in your past life to avoid being born in North Korea. I'm kidding.
Yeah, I enjoy.
I'm kidding.
I really wanted to be born to this life.
Well, this has been really great talking, and I guess I'm gonna sign off and probably edit it and post stuff later. But
okay.
Hopefully, this is the first of a lot of different talks that we'll do.
Yeah, you can.